Let's go now to the firestorm around Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and President Trump's tweet using 9/11 footage to criticize her. Omar is returning volley in a new series of tweets that says, in part, no one person, no matter how corrupt, inept, or vicious, can threaten my unwavering love for America. Let's bring in Bishop Garrison, co-founder of the Joseph Rainey Center for Public Policy, and Republican strategist Brian Darling, founder and president of Liberty Government Affairs. Hi, guys. Good to see you on a Sunday morning once again.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Brian, I'm going to start with you here. Many Democrats have raised alarm over the president's tweet, even some saying that he's inciting violence. Do you see any room for why you may think that?
Well, Democrats should be raising the alarms that they have to keep apologizing for this representative. Because
hang on. The question was, do you see room for Democrats to believe that the president is inciting violence with the tweet that he put out there?
No. I think that she deserves the criticism. Are we not allowed to criticize Representative Omar because she's a Muslim, because she's a woman, because she's African American? I don't think so. I think we're allowed to criticize her. I think she said something highly offensive to the victims of 9/11 and to Americans who look back on that. What we're seeing is the left attack people like Congressman Dan Crenshaw of Texas for merely pointing out that what she said was highly offensive by saying some people did some things when we know that something that was done was a terrorist attack on the United States. I mean, she's not immune from criticism just merely by virtue of the fact that she's Muslim American.
You know, Bishop, Brian makes a point about Dan Crenshaw, of course, Republican congressman who helped draw attention to the comments there initially. So this is what was said about the response from Democrats. Take a listen.
What they're doing is they're trying to silence any kind of arguments against them. Why? Because they don't actually have an argument to make. So what they do is they'll use identity to try and silence anyone else from saying anything. You're not allowed to say that because of who I am.
And so we had Brian reflecting those statements there in his answer. But what's your reaction?
Good morning, Alex. Thank you for having me. The biggest thing here is a veteran of a post 9/11 veteran myself. I don't take any of these types of issues lightly, but this is a smokescreen. We all understand what the representative was trying to say. She is not for terrorism. That's ridiculous. She's not anti-American. That's also ridiculous. What we have here is a president and an administration with their rhetoric that has continued to incite these types of issues, and now they're using this freshman representative as an outlet to take away from all of the issues that we're seeing that they have to deal with within our country right now. 3 black churches in Louisiana were burned to the ground by an arsonist, a domestic terrorist, just this week. What has the president said about that? What has been his response? What has been the response of this administration? The president might have told an acting cabinet official to go out and commit a crime, and he would go ahead and pardon him if he did that. Where is that conversation that we should be having right now? All of this is a distraction.
You know, who has made a comment about this, Brian, is Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, who big picture is claiming that racism is playing a role in these attacks, specifically the ones on Omar. Is that possible?
Of course. It's always racism. It's sexism. It's
always racism when it's actually racism, Brian.
But it was, in this case, it wasn't. She needs to apologize. She said something
we know
stupid,
that she was not
and she
clear.
should apologize for it.
So give me specifically what you think she said that was so stupid, Brian. It just exactly the verbiage.
Some people were Muslims. And she needs to admit that.
So the fact that she said some people as opposed to Muslims, and you have heard the entire conversation, right? You've heard her entire speech behind that podium. So you did not take some people to mean Muslims?
No, what I think she needs to do is she needs to explain herself. Again, this is the second time she said something she's had to apologize for. Some people did something when you're describing 9/11 is outrageous. It's wrong.
How about if some people, let's not even put the word Muslim assigning to it. How about if it's just she should have said the word terrorists? I mean, wouldn't that have been appropriate? They were terrorists.
Well, they would still be mad about something,
What she didn't do was explain herself. She didn't explain herself. That's the problem. It'd be perfectly okay if she said this and then afterwards said, hey, look, you know, maybe I should have used my words more carefully. But she didn't. She doubled down and accused anybody that criticizes her of being a racist, Islamophobic, sexist. And that's what the left's been doing, attacking people that have the courage to stand up and say what she said was wrong. And if she did it, just misspoke, Explain yourself. Apologize.
This is not about what she said. This is about an opportunity to distract from everything else that is happening with this White House, which is on fire right now. That's all this is.
What's also interesting, Bishop, is how the fallout here on this, because Congresswoman Tlaib is also taking aim at Democratic leadership. You know, they did speak out against the president's attacks on Omar, though not as strongly as some had hoped. And she said they put us in photos when they want to show our party is diverse. However, when we ask to be at the table or speak up about issues that impact who we are, what we fight for, and why we ran in the first place, we are ignored. To truly honor our diversity is to never silence us. Is there something to this?
I would say that this is a prime opportunity for Democratic leadership to come out and say why, yes, she could have said or could have rephrased her statement, which I still don't believe was that as terrible as the right is trying to make it. But she could have come out and rephrased things. Absolutely. That is not an excuse for the Islamophobia that we're seeing. That's not an excuse for the individuals to take action against and threats against this representative. And yes, I think that we should come out and have this discussion further. But the representative has already come out and re-emphasized what she was attempting to say. We should move on to more important
like
things.
Dan Crenshaw. I mean, Dan Crenshaw, a decorated veteran.
Right.
Yeah, as am I. I am too. I can play that card too. He should be worried about moving this country forward and not the off-kilter responses we've been seeing about the representative.
Card playing. I'm out because David Gurr is already sitting down, so I got to go.